What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. And today, we got to talk about the latest developments in the Big Tigger and Alicia Brown situation, because this story just shifted again. At first, the story was about Big Tigger's estranged wife being arrested on kidnapping-related warrants connected to her daughter, Ailea Brown, who has been missing since 2019. That kind of headline hits people in a certain way. When the public hears that a mother was arrested on kidnapping warrants and the child has been missing for years, people immediately think something dark happened. But now, Alea's father has spoken out, and his comments didn't clear the story up for me. They made it even stranger, because he is saying he believes his daughter is alive. He also says he has had some understanding of what's been going on, but Ailea has still not been located. That is the part that makes this whole story feel off.
This is her on her own, Alicia Brown. So on the 7th, which was yesterday, she was arrested. This is her mugshot in Hart County. She was around mile marker 177 on Interstate 85 when a deputy there at their sheriff's department saw her car, and they had a bolo be on the lookout for her. And she was in a Range Rover, black Range Rover. They pulled her over with the license plate matching. Here's a little bit from that arrest warrant, the incident report here that we were able to get our hands on here. At the time, she had, from Fulton County Sheriff's Office, there was a warrant there for her arrest in relation to that. Within the past 10 minutes, our assignment desk and our digital team, Jameson, she has talked with the Fulton County Clerk's Office, who have said since that arrest yesterday, those warrants here in Fulton County have been dismissed. Now, there is still another warrant, which is kidnapping charges. This is coming out of Baltimore County, Maryland. We have not been able to get those arrest warrants, they say, until she's extradited back and has a first appearance in court up there. But
this is where the public first got hit with the big headline. Alicia Brown gets stopped in Georgia. Authorities find out she has warrants out of Maryland, and those warrants are connected to a child who's been missing since 2019. 2 children were found safe in the vehicle, but Ailea was not there. So now everybody is looking at Alicia Brown through the word kidnapping. And that's a heavy word. It changes how people see a parent before the court even checks the facts. Now let me be clear. Alicia Brown is presumed innocent. An arrest does not mean the whole story has been proven. But a child being unlocated since 2019 is serious, no matter how complicated the family history is. So the public needs a cleaner explanation. Is this a custody dispute that turned into a criminal warrant? Is this a family abduction case? What exactly do authorities believe happened? Because when a story is presented like a dog kidnapping case, then the father comes out and says he believes the child is alive, people are gonna feel like something is missing. And right now, the missing piece is Ailea.
And just to be clear, you're not the only person she's done something like this too.
No, and thank you for saying that, because I'm not going to say his name. I'll just call him JR. That's the child before Tigger's is a young girl. And ironically, her name is Ailea Brown as well, but she goes by Autumn.
Wait a minute. Jarrell, stop.
2 children named Ailea Brown. Yes.
Why? Why do we have 2 children with the same name?
Well, one could only guess that because when you're searching for a missing child, you will hope that this baby comes up that's, alive and well and no one's looking for. So it throws off your search records, it throws off school records, it throws off identification purposes.
The father is speaking like he believes his daughter is still alive, but his daughter has still been reported missing since 2019. That don't make him look great from the outside looking in. I'm not saying he don't love his child. I'm saying his own words raise a fair question. If you knew she was alive, why has she still not been located? Ailea was a child when it started. She would be a teenager now. That means years have passed while her name remains attached to a missing child case. Somebody know where she been. Somebody knows who's been around her. Somebody knows how this story got from 2019 to now without her being located. That's why I can't just listen to his interview and move on like everything makes sense. A father saying he believes his missing daughter is alive is good to hear, but it does not answer the main question. Where is she? And that question should have been answered years ago. Not only after Alicia Brown gets connected to the Big Tigger scandal. That's the part that bothers me. Why did this case need a celebrity connection before it started getting real attention? Ailea should have been important enough by herself.
I've had 2 private investigators. One that worked pro bono for me for a couple months, and then the other I paid until I couldn't pay anymore. So as you all know, that's a great idea, but that's the worst plan for me, because the moment that this woman sees me, she's going to allege I did something and try to call the police. So that blows up my entire plan there. But PIs are not free, and I went broke, and I do mean broke, paying for my family lawyer to be involved consistently in my daughter's life. So I didn't have any more money to pay for her, and that's kind of part of the plan that she wants. She bleeds your pockets first, and you can't win a war with no money.
What can you tell us about her handle? What does she do professionally?
I don't know what she does. I know she won a lawsuit back in, I think, 2023 for some type of CIO government lawsuit she won, but I don't really know what she does. I do know that it is in the cybersecurity world, and she is a master at fabricating documents and lies. So I could only imagine, once I get the full answers, just how deep this well runs.
And so
but again, I know who's involved, and I'm saying that on purpose, because I know who's involved now. And I'm telling you, you all will be held responsible once this all is over with. So again, Tigger, get in front of this. Don't be complicit when it's time, because I'm not going to. No one's going to hear your ignorance as an excuse.
The father's interview makes it seem like this story may be more complicated than it was first reported. If a child has been kept from their parents for years, that matters. If a court order was violated, that matters. If a mother is facing warrants connected to her own child's disappearance, that matters. But if the people close to the case believe that Ailea is alive, then the public should not be left with a headline that makes it seem like nobody knew nothing. That gap is too big. And when the gap gets that big, the internet fills them with the worst possible version of the story. That is why everybody involved in this needs to be more precise. The authorities need to explain what kind of case this is. The father needs to explain what he means when he says he has some idea of what's been going on. Alicia Brown needs her day in court, and Ailea needs to be located before everybody starts acting like this case is understood. Now let's bring Big Tigger back into this for a second. People are asking how much it is he knew. That is a fair question, but we can't answer that from the outside. Maybe he was told there was a custody issue. Maybe he knew more than the public knows. Maybe he didn't know the full depth of all of it. Relationships can hide a lot. You can build a life with somebody and still not know every unfinished story that they're carrying. Then when the relationship breaks down, everything starts coming out in the worst way. Warrants, interviews, mugshots, and headlines. And everybody online starts picking sides before the facts even come out. But Ailea Brown cannot become a side story in Big Tigger's marriage scandal. She is the center part of this story. So I'm going to take y'all out like this. The father speaking out did not end the questions. It just created bigger ones. If he believes Ailea is alive, then locating her should be the biggest priority, not doing interviews. If Alicia Brown broke the law, then let the court prove it with evidence. If this was a custody case that got presented like something darker, then the press needs to acknowledge that. But until Ailea is found, this whole story is incomplete, because a child has been missing from the public since 2019. A father is now saying he believes she's alive. A mother is now in custody on warrants connected to that child. And the public is still left asking the same question. Where is Ailea Brown? That is the only question that really matters right now. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.